Sarah, a successful architect whose designs graced skylines and won accolades, navigated her bustling city life with an almost practiced composure. Her tailored suits and confident stride bespoke a woman who had mastered her world. Yet beneath this polished exterior, an incessant echo reverberated. It was the ghost of David, her ex-lover, a presence that, despite the years, clung to the edges of her consciousness like a stubborn scent. She would find herself staring blankly at blueprints, her mind drifting to a shared laugh, a stolen glance, a whispered promise. The question, a persistent, gnawing ache, was always the same. Why couldn't she simply move on? Why did David, a chapter closed long ago, still occupy so much emotional real estate? Their relationship had been a whirlwind, a tempest of passion and intensity that had swept her off her feet. She remembered the electric touch of his hand, the way his eyes would crinkle at the corners when he smiled, the effortless charm that had disarmed her completely. Flashbacks played like an old, cherished film reel, sun-drenched afternoons in Parisian cafes, whispered secrets under star-strewn skies, the exhilarating feeling of being truly seen, truly loved. But intertwined with these shimmering memories was a darker thread, a subtle undercurrent of pain she had at the time attributed to the natural complexities of deep love. David had a way of making her feel like the most important woman in the world, only to subtly undermine her confidence, leaving her craving his validation more than ever. It was a cycle she hadn't recognized until much, much later. One evening, while sharing wine with her closest friend Emily, the topic of past relationships arose. Sarah, ever guarded, spoke vaguely of David, still careful with his memory. Emily, however, offered a comment that in retrospect would become a tiny, insistent prick in Sarah's carefully constructed narrative. He always had a way of making everything about him, didn't he? Like he was the only one who could truly understand the world, or you. Sarah had brushed it off with a dismissive wave, attributing it to Emily's natural protectiveness. "Oh, you just never liked him," she'd laughed. But Emily's words lingered, a faint, disquieting hum beneath her calm facade. A growing unease began to stir within her, a subtle dissonance between her cherished memories and this fleeting, almost forgotten observation. The true catalyst arrived unexpectedly, a relic unearthed during a meticulous spring cleaning. Tucked away in a forgotten box of old university notes and sentimental trinkets, Sarah found it, a thick, cream-colored envelope, its edges softened by time, addressed in David's familiar, elegant script. It was sealed, unopened, a silent testament to the raw pain of their breakup. A letter she had instinctively thrown into the box without a glance, unable to bear its contents. The sight of it now, years later, sent a shiver down her spine. Her heart hammered with a mixture of dread and an undeniable surge of curiosity. What secrets did it hold? Was it an apology, a final explanation, or something else entirely? The weight of the unopened letter felt immense, a lingering question mark from a past she thought she had buried. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The envelope, once a symbol of agonizing finality, now felt like a ticking package in Sarah's hands. With a deep, shaky breath, she broke the seal, the crisp, tearing sound echoing in the silent apartment. Her eyes scanned the familiar cursive, expecting remorse, perhaps a plea for understanding. Instead, a cold dread began to coil in her stomach as she read. The letter wasn't an apology. It was a meticulously crafted tapestry of blame, each sentence subtly weaving a narrative where Sarah was the architect of their demise. David detailed her supposed emotional volatility, her unreasonable demands, her inability to truly understand him. He even alluded with masterful passive aggression to his unfortunate infidelity, portraying it not as a betrayal, but as a tragic consequence of her own perceived failings. a desperate lashing out from a man pushed to his limits. His words, once read with the naive devotion of a lover, now felt like venom, carefully distilled and precisely aimed. He had somehow managed to twist the knife even after all these years, making her feel culpable for a pain he had inflicted. The entire relationship, every shared moment, every vulnerable confession, was reframed through his self-serving lens. Overwhelmed by a sudden, sickening clarity, Sarah clutched the letter, her knuckles white. She called Emily, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and profound hurt. "He blamed me, Emily, for everything, even for her." The words tumbled out, raw and unfiltered. Emily listened patiently, a quiet sadness in her voice when she finally spoke. "Sarah, I knew, not the specifics of this letter, but his pattern. He did it with his ex before you too. He'd build them up, make them dependent, then systematically dismantle their confidence, making them believe they were the problem. It's called gaslighting, love. Emotional abuse. I wanted to tell you, but you were so in love, so fiercely protective of him. I saw how he isolated you, how he made you doubt yourself. I just hoped you'd see it eventually." Emily's confession hit Sarah like a physical blow. Her world, meticulously rebuilt brick by brick since the breakup, now felt like it was crumbling around her. The memories, once tinged with a romantic sadness, were now viewed through a horrifying new filter. The subtle comments, the moments of self-doubt she had dismissed as her own insecurities, the constant need for his reassurance, it all clicked into place with terrifying precision. Every argument, every tear, every instance she had questioned her own sanity was now exposed as a calculated manipulation. The obsession that had plagued her for years, the relentless pursuit of closure, the yearning for an explanation, suddenly transformed. It wasn't love that had held her captive. It was a desperate, primal need for validation from the very person who had systematically stripped it away. Her longing wasn't for him, but for the truth, for an acknowledgement of her pain, for vindication against the insidious narrative he had woven. Anger, hot and righteous, began to replace the lingering ache of longing. She didn't want him back. She wanted justice, not for him, but for herself, for the woman he had tried to break. This wasn't about love anymore. It was about reclaiming her narrative, her sanity. A few days later, while scrolling through a mutual acquaintance's social media, a photograph caught Sarah's eye. It was David, beaming, his arm around a new woman, her face radiant with happiness. A casual comment below the picture mentioned their recent engagement. As Sarah looked closer, she noticed the subtle signs, the way the woman leaned into him, her gaze adoring, almost dependent. She saw glimpses of her own past self in the woman's hopeful eyes, a familiar vulnerability that sent a chill down her spine. The patterns, like a sinister melody, were already beginning to play out. A glimmer of hope, sharp and unexpected, pierced through Sarah's anger. Could she stand by and let history repeat itself, or was there a way to break the cycle, not just for herself, but for someone else? The thought settled in her mind, a quiet but insistent drumbeat. The thought settled in her mind, a quiet but insistent drumbeat. Sarah knew, with a certainty that resonated deep within her bones, that she could not remain a silent observer. This wasn't about revenge. It was about preventing another soul from enduring the insidious erosion of self that David orchestrated so expertly. She found the new partner's social media profile, a public one, and with a deliberateness born of newfound strength, crafted an anonymous message. It was carefully worded, devoid of overt accusation or emotional outburst. She simply shared her own story, focusing on the insidious patterns of manipulation, the gaslighting, the subtle ways David dismantled confidence. She included excerpts from his letter, the very words that had once shattered her. now serving as undeniable proof of his calculated cruelty. Sarah didn't demand a response or expect immediate belief. Her intention was merely to plant a seed of doubt, to offer a warning from someone who had walked that treacherous path. It was an act of profound catharsis, a reclaiming of her narrative, a silent scream against the injustice she had suffered. With a deep breath, she pressed send, a feeling of liberation washing over her unlike any she had experienced before. The aftermath, though not immediate, was inevitable. Weeks later, through the same digital grapevine that had revealed David's engagement, Sarah learned of its abrupt dissolution. The details were scarce, but the whispers spoke of a dramatic confrontation, accusations of emotional abuse, and the new partner's sudden, undeniable clarity. Sarah felt no triumph in David's downfall, no malicious glee. Instead, there was a profound sense of peace, a quiet validation that her experience was real, that she wasn't alone, and that her warning had perhaps saved someone else from years of heartache. It was a testament to her own strength, a confirmation that her intuition had been sound even when David had tried to convince her otherwise. The obsession, once a heavy cloak of longing and confusion, had finally lifted, replaced by a clear, crisp understanding of her own resilience. In the quiet solitude of her apartment, Sarah sat down with a pen and paper, not to write to David, but to her past self. "Dear Sarah," she began, her handwriting steady and sure. "I forgive you. I forgive you for loving him so fiercely, for believing his lies, for doubting your own worth. You were strong, even when you felt weakest. You were intelligent, even when he made you question your sanity. The truth was always there, flickering beneath the surface, and you were brave enough to finally see it. This pain, this journey, it has not broken you. It has forged you into something stronger, something more beautiful. Trust yourself always. Your worth is not defined by external validation, especially not from those who seek to diminish it. You are enough." She folded the letter, a symbolic act of closure and profound self-acceptance, tucking it into an old journal, a private testament to her hard-won wisdom. Free from the suffocating grip of David's memory, Sarah began to truly flourish. Her architectural designs soared, reflecting a newfound confidence and clarity. She poured her energy into her passions, embracing new collaborations and challenging projects that once felt daunting. Her relationships with friends deepened, founded on genuine connection and mutual respect, devoid of the constant need for reassurance she once sought. She found joy in simple moments, in the quiet hum of her city, in the laughter shared with loved ones. There was a lightness to her step, a brightness in her eyes that had been absent for too long. Sarah had not just moved on, she had moved forward, embracing a future where her worth was self-defined, not dictated by the ghost of a past love, but by the vibrant, resilient woman she had become.